What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Jasmine Cole, and you're now tuned in to Flavorz First. Now, with this episode this week, if you've been tuned in and you got the alerts or anything like that, you know it's about friendship. And I went back and forth on what to say during this episode and if I should just keep it, regular for everyone to relate, or if I should, make topic points for it. And I said, you know what? No, because the best way to get this topic out, like this kind of topic, is to speak from experience. And that means today is going to be story time. So it's just going to be like a story timeline of my friendships and where I stand now with those friendships and where I see those friendships going for the future. I don't know. So basically, let's just get right into it so we can get the story going. So the other day, one of my ex-closest friends tagged me in something on Facebook, and it kind of touched my little heart or whatever. I just, felt some kind of way about it because we haven't been close at all. It's probably been like about a year at this point that we haven't really spoken to each other, and we haven't been really involved with each other at all. And that comes from, it might be my fault, mainly my fault, and I know I made the choice to step away from that friendship just because I felt like I was in a place of being very judgmental of somebody that I called my friend. And I felt like it wasn't fair to her for me to keep having, these same issues with her based on whatever she wanted to do and the choices that she was making in her life. But I also had to realize, like, that's not my life to live. I can only advise somebody and try to give them the best wishes and to help them as much as I can. But if I feel like I'm being taken for granted, or if somebody is just doing something and it doesn't seem like them, then I need to take a step back. So that's basically what happened to our friendship. And her kids are like my niece and nephew, so I haven't been able to see them either. And it's just, stuff like that kind of makes you reevaluate. And I had to take a step back and realize that maybe the reason we fell apart is because I wasn't being open enough to her. And as a friend, I feel like that is a very important step in maintaining friendships. You have to be open and honest with your friends. You have to let them know how you're feeling, whether it's something new that you've been feeling or it's something that you've had on your mind to share with them in the past and you just haven't. You have to get those kind of things out, because if you don't, then you're just harboring feelings to lay on them later on. Communication is a huge part of any kind of relationship, but it's definitely important in friendships because your friends are the closest people to you outside of, well, maybe even closer than family, because I know a lot of people relate to their friends more than they do with their family. So we need to value these relationships and treat them as something that we cherish and something that we care about. So being in a bad space with people that you've seen yourself being close to for a very long time can kind of come as a shock to you, or can be a little bit devastating. You don't even understand the full extent to how it's affecting you and that person separately. So when she tagged me in this, it just brought back memories to me thinking, like, this girl used to be my sister. Like, we used to go everywhere together. We used to do everything together. If you saw one of us, the other one was, nearby or whatever like that. And as we grew up, it just, life kicks in. You have your own personal things to do. You have responsibilities and stuff now. So friendships sometimes, unfortunately, take a back seat to that. But when you have an understanding and your closeness with your good friends, then you realize it's not me abandoning my friendship, it's me doing what I have to do, and my friendship is still going to survive through that, or it should at least. That's how we want things to go. You just look back at stuff and just evaluate situations and realize that sometimes it's really not as serious as we may think it is, but just dragging along issues and stuff or not talking about certain things can just damage your potential for even getting that relationship back on track. So just don't let one lesson, I'm always going to give y'all a lesson. Just don't let stuff linger on, and don't let stuff just take over and cloud the positivity that you have coming in your life and that you have currently in your life. Just try to keep things clear and at least be at a point to where you know whether it's worth pursuing or if it's okay just leaving where it's at and being okay with whatever decision that you make. Other friendships, sometimes you just know that friends are for a season and a reason sometimes. So, you just let that happen. You have your party friends, you have your professional friends, you have your friends to where where you can go to get good time or whatever like that. Categorize your friends, and sometimes you can't cross-pollinate your fucking friends, okay, because it doesn't work out. Everybody don't get along with everybody. That's a big point that kind of affects female relationships. I don't know if it really does for guys that much, because guys usually they always get along unless it's some little boy type stuff or whatever. But females, like, if one female out of your little circle does not like one of your other friends that's not really in your circle, that will not work for y'all to hang out together. Like, y'all can't do anything together because it's awkward, and how how the other person feels about the new friend. It's just so weird and so odd. But that's why we have to keep multiple circles. And I know that one of my friends had mentioned that she has multiple circles, and that works for her because she's able to have a purpose for each circle, and she gets what she was missing from not being close to her siblings or whatever, and her cousins that she could be close to, but she doesn't have that relationship. She has that in her multiple circles of friends, and that's really cool because you have support from every different angle. You have a certain group of friends to go to for this, you have a certain group to go to for that, and that makes sense, and you're not making more stress on yourself in the process of maintaining these friendships. I know I am the type of person to where if my friends aren't getting along, like, I'm an isolated person by myself anyway. Like, I'm always cool with just being alone, being in my house, doing whatever I want to do, chilling, relaxing. But if it comes to a point to where I can't call up two different sets of friends and be like, okay, well, y'all want to just come over and hang out and it's gonna be some drama, then I'll stay away from everybody, because it's just not worth it to me. And I guess that's where I kind of hold friends to a standard, to where if you know that I'm cool with somebody and you know how I am, then you should feel like I'm not going to put you in a position to be around somebody that's not your style. You know what I'm saying? I always look out for my friends, or I try to at least give them the chance to meet somebody that maybe, they can get along with, even if they don't agree with everything 100%. Like, who does really? At least you can be, cordial in my sake, when I'm around, or if I want to hang out with everybody, or if I only got one free day this week and I'm trying to hang out with both of y'all. So what's gonna happen? What else can we talk about? Being in a relationship and having a long-time friendship that feels like it's suffering from you being in a relationship. That is a downfall for a lot of females, because we do not know how to split our time between friends and like boyfriends. Because at one point we're all about our girls, we always hang out with our girls, we go do stuff, we on the phone all day, we going shopping, whatever. And then we get a boyfriend, all of a sudden that kind of stops. It slows down while we talking or whatever, while you talking to your boyfriend or soon to be boyfriend. And then as soon as y'all make that relationship solid, it's like, okay, well, I gotta go spend time with my man now, so I don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah, I'll call you when I can call you, and maybe we can hang out, but I'm trying to be up under my man. That's how I am. I don't know about everybody else, but I know I'm like that. And a lot of my friends do not end up having boyfriends when I have boyfriends, so it's like I just abandon them, which is not the case. I just want to be up under my boyfriend for a little bit sometimes, and I'm not trying to go out. I'm already not the type that want to go out and do stuff all the time and being out in the club and stuff like that. I don't do that. So if it's not something we can do at home, catch me on the next one. Probably, maybe not. I know that one of my friends that we were close since like 6th grade, I should have listened to her. She knew that the guy I was with was not for me at all. Like, she could just sense it, and she's one of my closest friends. Well, not even one of my closest friends. We're really good friends, and we can go years without talking to each other and jump right back to I can message her right now and be like, hey girl, what you doing? And she'll tell me what's up, and we'll probably link up and act like we ain't never skipped a beat. You know what I'm saying? Those are kind of friendships that I value, because those are genuine friendships and they aren't circumstantial relationships. They just are. You know what I'm saying? And those type of friendships mean the most, because those friends aren't really looking for something. You know, it's just a genuine exchange of good energy, and you get that from that person. They receive the same from you, and you feel comfortable around each other. Those are the best, to me, in my opinion. You want to have a friendship to where you can be yourself, but you also have, you want to have a relationship to where you can take criticism from your friend. Not even criticism, somebody just being able to say something to you without you being offended. You need to be able to learn from your friends and grow from your friends, and accept that what they're telling you is for your own good, or they just want to see the better in you that they know is there. Nobody that's a true friend would be trying to change you. They're just trying to improve you. I guess that's a better way to put it. And if you're not in a place to where you can receive that from somebody, it's either one of two things. Either you don't feel like they're in a position to be able to tell you that kind of thing, or you are just not going to accept that from somebody else. So that doesn't mean that y'all need to be friends. I think that you need to kind of reevaluate your friendship in that kind of case. A lot of friendships have issues that they really never discuss, so there's a lot on the table that needs to be talked about, and they need to at least let the other person see where they're coming from. And that level of forgiveness right there, or missing that level of forgiveness, can tarnish a friendship and could put it in a weird position to where neither person knows where they stand, so it's just kind of up in the air, and it just makes it awkward. So when you're awkward around people that are supposed to be your friend, you're like, what the fuck is this? What's the point of us being around each other if this is weird? And then there you go, start losing time with that friend, and then y'all eventually separate. So we just have to be able to accept the fact that people grow, and people do that at different stages in their lives. So it's not like you're trying to ice your friends out, or you're not trying to you feel like you're better than anybody. It just happens to be that different stroke for different folks at certain times. And once you reach a certain level of maturity, it's just certain things you can't entertain anymore. And for the goodness of yourself, and for the the good karma that you want to receive, you have to separate yourself from certain people. And if that's your friends, then you realize that, hey, I was at a stage in my life where this was acceptable, and now that I'm growing, I can't do that anymore. So either we talk it out and I tell you what I'm not agreeing, with you on, so that we can grow together and we can get rid of this stuff that's kind of toxic to us as individuals and within our friendship, because we're thriving off of this within our friendship. If we can't get rid of it together, then I have to step away until you're ready to take that step and get rid of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think we get into the habit of thinking that it's all or nothing, and it could be we're 100% friends. You listen to me, I listen to you, we grow together, or I'm gonna take a break, and we can either fix this down the line, or I'm gonna be okay with just stepping away and we're not friends at all. And I wish you nothing but the best. I don't wish you no nothing bad, but I just can't have you around. And it's like that sometimes, and people need to know that that's not always a bad thing. Take that time to look at yourself and to look at the kind of friend that you want to be to somebody, or that friend that you want to be to that person that you no longer have around, and just make the proper changes or improvements to yourself. I won't say changes, because no one wants to be changed. You are who you are. You can just improve who you are. Sounds good to me. Shit. We don't really acknowledge that people go through things personally, and that affects friendships. If I'm having a bad day and I don't feel like being bothered, and somebody keeps blowing up my phone And when I finally answer the phone, I'm going off saying, bitch, why the fuck is you still calling my phone? I didn't answer the first 6 times that you called me, like, leave me alone. Then, that kind of puts you in a place to where your friends need to know you. Like, if you hit me and I don't hit you back, and I text you and I just let you know I'm not having a good day, just say, okay, friend, hit me when you're feeling better, or I'll check on you in a little bit, something like that. But don't keep harassing me trying to make it seem like, oh, you gotta get out and you gotta do something because that's why you're feeling like that, because you're all goofed. No, I just want to be left alone. And now I have attitude because you're not leaving me alone. Now that could be sometimey. That can happen sometimes within friendships. Okay, this time you're not leaving me alone. But when it happens all the time and you're just feeling like somebody's just on your back about why you're not communicating with them the way they want you to communicate with them when they want you to, that's not a positive relationship. So you probably need to take a step back and make them realize that you are your first priority, and then comes priorities, of course, but then will come the friendship down the line. You don't put your friendship before yourself, ever. Don't put anything before yourself, because if you're not 100%, you can't help anybody else. You don't have enough to give to anybody else if you're not 100% yourself. I know that we've all had relationships or friendships to where we're dealing with toxic people, and we know that our friends, sometimes, your friend ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? You know that she gonna do whatever she wanna do, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, and she don't care one way or other. But that's your girl, whatever. That's your homie, whatever. But when you start excusing that behavior and you're just saying that's just how she is, it's cool, that's what she gonna do, whatever, you have to look at yourself and see what kind of friend you are, because you don't want your friend just out here doing anything. You don't want to be around somebody who's just going to enable somebody who's doing some dumb shit. And it's a lot of people out here like that who just keep letting shit happen, letting people get away with this, that, and the third, just saying, oh, that's just how they are, instead of trying to check their friend in a positive way, because a lot of people are disrespectful and they talk to their friends any kind of way, and that can, tarnish and turn the whole situation a different way. But if you talk to your friend and you check them like, hey, what you've been doing is not cool. You need to get yourself together. You need to reevaluate the way that you're taking things and the way that you're doing things. And your friend accepts that, then that's a good friend to you. But if your friend flip on you like, bitch, you don't gonna tell me what to do, you ain't this and you ain't that, then there you go. You probably shouldn't be friends with him. You probably need to just take a step back and learn that ain't for you, and y'all not for each other right now. And maybe once they get their stuff together, or get in a position to where they can accept positive criticism. Positive criticism. Damn, I can't say that shit. Is it positive criticism? They can't take no motherfucking feedback from nobody. That's the problem. Period. Since I can't fucking say the word. Well, clearly I've been talking for too long, so I'm getting tired and my words is all jumbling together. So that means we will have a part 2 of this discussion coming soon. I won't say it's going to be the next episode because I have something for our next episode, but we will definitely pick back up on this topic. In the meantime, make sure you go check out my pages, Flavorz First on all socials, and also including Facebook and YouTube. And just come back next week. We'll see. I have something special for you guys in store, and then we will just go ahead and pick up on this topic. Leave us some comments about some relationships or friendships that you've been in that may have been toxic or maybe not the best situation for you. And also tell me about your positive relationships, because I know that there's a great positive side to being in great friendships. So we want to highlight that as well. Just make sure you tune in next week, and see you there. Alright, so if you're not already, make sure that you go follow Flavorz First Pod on Instagram. That's FLAVORZ, the word first, POD. Also like Flavorz First on Facebook, and you can find me on socials at forever_JASXOXO.